This week's Playbook Pro says tackling is going to be important ahead of today's matchup. Alex Barth from 98.5 The Sports Hub joined me for this week's edition of Playbook Pro. All right, Alex Barth is our Playbook Pro this week. Obviously, the Patriots back at home this week taking on the Atlanta Falcons, but obviously a busy week in terms of the front office. Keon White out the door, Kyle Duggar out the door, Marcus Jones, his big extension. Just what are your thoughts on all the moves that the Patriots made this week?
Mike Vrabel talked on Wednesday about how they're still in the early stages of building a program, and obviously it feels like there's a lot of progress for this Patriots team at 6-2, and there is, but it's 8 weeks into what they hope is a years-long process. Keon White, Kyle Duggar are players we knew going back to the summer didn't necessarily have a solid role in New England, and in Duggar's case, was making starter money as a backup. Marcus Jones, kind of the exact opposite. That's another guy that was tabbed by some back in the summer as potentially not a fit, but Jones is a player who plays well above his size, very smart football player, very instinctive football player, and he stepped into that role and thrived, and now he's rewarded on the other side of it with a 3-year contract extension.
How impressed have you been with, despite those slow starts, that they've been able to, claw themselves back into the game and then dominate?
Yeah, I think the coaching staff deserves a lot of credit, and this Browns game was a terrific example of the in-game adjustments. Now, that being said, they are playing some lesser opponents here, and when you face teams with more firepower, when they get to Tampa in a couple of weeks, when they get to the Bills again, that's going to become that much harder to do.
Before they get to Tampa, obviously they have Atlanta this week, and probably Bijan Robinson is probably the first person that you're circling on the scouting report. The Patriots, 8 games where they haven't allowed a 50-yard rusher. Do you see that continuing this week, and what challenge does Bijan Robinson present?
He presents a lot of challenges. A guy his size moving as nimbly as he does, that's rare. If you allow Robinson to build momentum coming off of contact, that's where he's really going to hurt you. So they're going to need to be on their A game, tackling again and swarming the football.
Alex, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Ryan.